Cormega Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
One, two, 1, 2. You now rocking with the No Vultures podcast. You got me, myself, Lord Rab. You got OG Clee going away on a vacation. Free OG Clee. And today, we got a very, 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 very special guest. And we are live from this special guest headquarters. This guy right here is not new to the show. He is a friend of the show. He is my partner, man. He is my partner not only in personal, my partner, but in fashion, in taste, in style, in aesthetic, in coming from the cloth that I'm cut from, man. This guy has built a company that has surpassed so many things and so many people's expectations. I know they didn't think, y'all thought he was going to fall off. But the nigga bigger than ever, man. We got Devlin D-Nice motherfucking Carter on No Vultures today, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you.
Brother.
Appreciate you, man. It's always good to link up.
Man, this interview gonna get me in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're here for, then.
I got a lot of partners who think they fly, and this shit is so hot they can't get their hands on it. But since you a friend of the room, I don't have to give you the disclaimer, but I'll give the fans who this may be their first time tuning in that No Vultures is a podcast for the culture, by the culture. We don't like to just talk to our brother because he has a beef in the media or something goes wrong to where some clout chasing involved. I actually was probably one of his first biggest fans from the VV1 just off seeing the shoe, had no idea who was making it. And so that's what we're about. So
yeah.
when I made the initial reach out, like that's what it was about. Like I hadn't even dug into all the shit that you have done, and then I found out later. So that's just for the fans because he already know that.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain, man. How you?
Man, you looking good, man. I'm doing
Appreciate
good.
it.
I'm happy to be here, man. This is amazing, man.
This is only a quarter. They don't even know.
Yeah,
all
they
the
can't
stuff
even
over
see.
there
They can't
in
even
the
see.
back
This
office.
ain't even nothing. But if y'all know about what this dude got going on, and you of course would know that this man is amazing in his setup and his team. Small team, you know what I'm saying, but big moves.
Yeah.
We had an interview before, so I don't have to go all the way into it. But
Okay.
Queens,
Yeah.
fashion, so people can kind of get a idea of it. Your mom was a designer.
Yeah. So Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I
You moved to Queens.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And moved to Queens.
Yeah.
But your barbershop was where?
My barbershop was in Queens.
Your barbershop was in Queens.
Yeah.
But
So like high school, I was Queens.
in high school, you was in Queens.
Yeah.
Now, because I didn't know enough about him until you start really storytelling through your designs. But Augie.
Yeah, my mentor Augie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Augie, I met Augie because my mom, she, like he said, she's a fashion designer, so she makes new outfits every day to go to work in them. But she got a lot of shoes too, so she used to send me to take her shoes to get repaired, like maybe fix the heel, to this older white Italian shoemaker named Augie. And so I remember just doing that. I was just always bringing her shoes to Augie. But then in '97, I started college at Queensborough Community College, and then my boy Drew Cartier, he had the Jordan 13s. They was white and red, but he had the bottom of his was blue. So, back then they didn't make Jordans in those colors. So when you seen a Jordan in a color like that, people was gonna look because they was like, "Yo, them are the Olympic Jordans." So, and it was the Olympics that year, and he was just like, he told me how he did it, and from there I just started painting shoes. I started buying only Jordans too, because I didn't even really wear Air Force Ones back then. I still don't, because Air Force Ones is like everybody could get those.
Okay.
They was like $60, $70.
Yeah.
Jordans was more expensive, and there wasn't no resale market, but it was more so like those are Jordans, those are 150, 200. So if you had the balls to change that, paint that, not only one, you had money, but two, you was gonna get attention because everybody knew what colorways Jordans came in. So when they seen something different, so fast forward, doing that in '97, then '99 come around, and because every time I wore my shoes, I never did it for people for money.
Okay.
So I always wanted just to dress different because back then that's how we were. We didn't want to look like each other. So when people would be like, yo, where'd you get your Jordans from? You know, I'd be like, oh, my sister, she in the Army in Germany. They just get different colors than we get. So that's how I always tell them, like, oh, my sister in the Army, she sent it from wherever she was stationed at the time. But 2 years came, and, you know, the streets find out. So the streets started painting their Jordans. Now, is dudes painting, like, murals on their shit.
Right.
I was doing what we would call now is color flips. Like, if they was black and red, I turned all the red to yellow.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I'm not finna be sitting here painting murals of, you know, Biggie on the side. I can't do that. I'm not that great of an artist. So I was like, what could I do to now one up that shit? Because now my little color flips ain't saying nothing to a dude that got Biggie painted on his shoe.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put fabric on the shoe, because my mom, being a fashion designer, she would always send me out of all her kids to go get her fabrics, because I just listened to what she said, and I would always try to talk down the price by yard. So I've always grown up. I'm doing this at 6 years old. So I'm literally growing up knowing about fabrics.
Right.
So I'm like, in, you know, 97, I was 19, you know, so I'm 19 and I'm like, I know I got 10, 12 years of fabric knowledge. So I knew where to go in the garment district. I knew how to get all kind of crazy fabrics. So I wanted to then learn, how can I put this fabric onto the shoe? How can I sew it onto the shoe? Because, you know, on a regular sewing machine, it's different than a regular sewing machine is different than if you know, a shoe. You can't put a shoe flat on a machine, right? So I went to Augie, and then Augie, I was like, Augie, how can I put this material on these Jordans? And he was like, I could do it for you, but I'd rather you learn it yourself. So he was like, come after I close and I'll show you how to work the sewing machine and what glues and stuff to use. So he literally just let me work in the shop. I'm breaking needles left and right. He's not even caring. He's not charging me. Wow. And I'm learning every time, you know, more months go by and I'm trying to upgrade, do different stuff. And he's like, he's just giving me whatever the knowledge I need for whatever I'm trying to do, because the way I'm thinking, he's an old shoemaker. Like, he makes dress shoes. He's not even thinking like, oh, Jordans, because that's our culture. Right. That's not his culture. His culture is making nice Italian leather shoes. So when so the things I'm telling, he's like, oh, okay, well, you could do that like this. But he never thought about doing that himself, because that's not what his culture was. Right. So even in teaching me and learning like that, he learned, like, people would come to him and he'd make more money putting Gucci on his stuff. Yeah. Because that's what we were doing back then. That we were the first people doing the Gucci Air Force Ones. Like, we put them in Jadakiss video. Yeah, the Jadakiss Knock Yourself Out video. We did his joints. We were doing stuff for Dapper Dan too. Yeah. Like, Dapper Dan would send us the shoes to match the stuff for the dudes he was probably making suits for. But we were doing stuff like the custom shoes for a lot of people in New York. Even it would be other people from Harlem that would come to us and be like, yeah, I want you to do these Air Force Ones. But those dudes would be acting as like a stylist for somebody else. Yeah. And then we find out when we see the stuff worn on rap videos, we like, yo, those are the Timbs we did.
Is that how Cormega ended up with them?
Yeah.
Or did he buy them direct?
No, Cormega came to my house. So for Cormega's video, Get Out My Way, was like a diss song to Nas.
Right.
He came to my house and I sat there. He came to my house like at 10 o'clock at night, and he didn't leave till 4 or 5 in the morning, because I was still sewing his outfit and his boots, because the video was that next day. Wow. So he literally sat in my house and talked to me while I was making his outfit and his shoes for his video.
That's crazy that you even say, because just even thinking about both guys on both sides of that project, right? You're making his outfit. He's waiting on it. What rapper gonna wait for their outfit? Like, you know what I'm saying? No. They don't even care that much. Like, it's not that. Yeah. It was serious at that time.
No, facts. And yeah, and when he found out through my homie, because I was doing it with my other homie Ryan, and God rest his soul, he died 2 years ago. But he brought Cormega to us, like, and he was like, yeah, this is my guy who teaches me how to do it, and he made that connection. You know what I'm saying? So I think he knew Ryan was friends with Cormega's younger brother. Okay. So he was like, he was comfortable. Like, he knew it was a good environment. So he was cool with, coming to the house and just vibing with us while I made his shit. But like, he saw the talent. He knew he wanted, that's what New Yorkers is like that. We want what nobody else got. What we used to. Everybody now is
Everybody
it's
the
mannequins.
same.
They all
Yeah,
dress
yeah,
the same.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody the same.
We call them niggas mannequins,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they just mannequins now. But back then, dudes was one up. So Jada had the Air Force Ones. Cormega was like, I want the Timbs. So we did the Gucci Timbs.
That was mean right there. Like so, and from there it turned it out because you did Foxy, Kim.
Yup, we did Foxy, Kim, because we were doing clothes too. We did Joe Button's manager at the time. What was his name? Webb. Yeah, Webb. We did one of his wheelchairs. I'm not sure if it was Webb, but he's in the wheelchair. So we took his whole wheelchair and did his whole wheelchair reupholstered in Gucci.
Damn.
So this is back in that area. Everybody doing start Jada with the swoosh. Then Cormega want the Timbs, and this nigga say, "Yo, fuck it, I want the wheelchair."
You know what's so crazy? Nobody had like the access to, because you can't find a young dude sewing and doing shit like that back then. So everybody wanted to mimic it. You know how the hood is. Once the video come out, like, how do we get these? So it turned into a situation where it became us going to like Asian people at stores and just getting glue.
Yep.
Like straight glue. No sewing, no nothing.
I remember that. I seen man, when we started doing the Gucci, I remember when we started seeing everybody else doing it, right? And they just gluing it on, and then the fabric is fraying apart because they never sealed up the fabric. That's why you can't just glue fabric on stuff unless it's like leather. Yeah. But if it's a cloth, it's going to deteriorate. You know, and that's what we had from out here, Mob Figures. We had a homie from Mob Figures out here, Husalah. Husalah flew out to New York because I had owned a barbershop at the time, so they would drop their shoes off. When I closed the barbershop, I started making the shoes. Yeah. Right? So Husalah had came out here. He brought me like 6 different pairs of Air Force Ones. Wow. And mind you, this is no Instagram. This is not social media. This is 2000, the year 2000, maybe 2001, if that. Right. You know, niggas is flying from the Bay.
Husalah on this shit. He heard about it and got to you.
Yeah, he flying from the Bay all the way to New York because we met at the Cormega video.
Okay.
The Get Out My Way. He's in the video. If you watch it, you know, he's in the video wearing, I think, some 49 shit.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. And so, like, the demand for you, did it get overwhelming? Because it was just you, or was it because Augie was doing his thing just because he was getting like the overflow.
Yeah, he owned his own shoe repair store. Right. So with us, yes, it did, because we then booked orders for the sneaker stores on Jamaica Ave.
Is this you and your mom?
No, my mom didn't do the shoes. My mom make the clothes.
Help you with the clothes.
Yeah, so it was me and Ryan. We was in my basement apartment, and we had literally an order of 110 pairs of white Air Force Ones. So we had to do, at that 110 pair, that was like 330 pairs of swooshes to glue on and stitch on. So literally, this is not a lie, I sat there 3 days. I completed the whole order. It was only a $10,000 order, right? I did the whole order in 3 days. I only slept for 1 hour out of the 3 days. Wow. So I literally stayed up like a damn robot, 72 hours, sewing, gluing, probably high as all hell. Because the kind of glue.
Was it encouraging or discouraging at that point?
No, it was fun. It's like, at that time, I never touched $10,000.
Right, the money.
Right, so you know what I'm saying? I'm getting the money because that summer is what I used to buy my barbershop. Right. So it's like I'm doing one thing to get to the next dream. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's important. Like, I think that, because seeing where you are right now, being a self-made millionaire, it's this immediate gratification shit just got to go as far as our youth. Like, they got to know that it's a process. Like,
no, bro, I started this in 97. I just, I'm 20 years deep.
And you didn't even know it was going to this. You didn't know. You were just doing this, and then
97 is the first time I customized a shoe, right? I joined the Coast Guard. So I did that and, doing my barber shit, but see, with no internet, customized shoes got played out. So there was years where I didn't do customizing shoes, and then 9/11.
Did you get overthrown by G-Unit tank tops? Not yet.
No. I think I was actually living out here when that popped off. But so then I did that, and then 2003, I joined the Coast Guard.
Okay, yeah.
So I joined the military in 2003. They moved me out here to the Bay Area, so that's 03, and then I'm, I probably like a year in there, I'm like, shit, out here, it's the Bay is different. So I started I just still like having my shit different than everybody else's. So I used to like. Then is when I brought Air Force Ones and I was customizing. You know, my Air Force Ones and my Jordans out here. People see it. I tell them same shit. Like, I ain't doing it for nobody. You know, I'm just, it's my own thing. You know, and that was 03, right? I got out of the Coast Guard in 2014. I got out in 2014, so I did 11 years in the military. Then went to the Fashion Institute, right? Graduated from there, then opened my boutique, right? So now we talking 2014, finished school 2016, opened the store, dropped the VV1 2016, right? 2019, COVID hits. 2020, closed down the store in March. When they shut everything down, June, millionaire. That's 2019. Wild. So started in 1997. And then 2019 is when that started taking off.
Stay on blue. I'm just trying to stay racked up like you. Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair on like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil'